people who participate in the presentation. The results presented here are not typical. They may vary from person to person. So please keep in mind that the Sankey independent distributors shown in this publication are examples and should not be construed as a statement of regular or irregular income. The income will depend on the individual business skills of the distributor, their personal ambitions, time, commitment, activities, and demographic factors. To learn more about the average income and learn the full terms and conditions of our current compensation plan, please review your basic distributor manual. So folks, let's just get straight into our session tonight. Tonight, I want to talk about the vaginal immunity. And I know a lot of people send me some eyes, send me some, thumbs up, stating what is the vaginal immunity. So here we are going to understand what is vaginal immunity. We are speaking about bacterial vaginosis and the vaginal microbiome. I know Clive would have given us a great explanation of the microbiome. So as we go further into our session, I just want to, what is going on here with my scoop now? Right. Our bodies are made up of trillions of microbial organisms, right, that live in our body. And I know Clive would have done a great job in explaining what the human microbiome is all about. So we're looking at this area here, the urogenital microbiome fungi, all right? And here we are going to see what liquid immunity is all about in terms of the vaginal immunity. The vaginal innate immunity is strongly correlated to a specific adaptive immune response, which is the IgA, which is immunoglobulin index A. So what is IgA? IgA are antibodies that fight off sickness. Having an IgA deficiency means one has low levels of or no IgA in your blood. All right. So it's just a part of, the body's prevention, especially the vagina, preventing pathogens from entering the system. So what is the immunoglobulin A all about? It's the first line of defense in resistance against infection. All right. And in today's world, with what is happening, a lot is affecting our women every day. And I'm seeing it happening as the days go by when I test their blood, when I am doing, all of these detoxins and so forth within their system. So via inhibiting bacterial and viral adhesion to the epithelial cells. Now, a lot of women have, we call BVs, which is bacterial vaginosis. The epithelial cells, all right, or lining of the uterus cells or cervix becomes, squamous cells start to develop in terms of the immunity of the vagina, because different bacteria are entering. We can, as we get into the system, we'll understand why these cells are changing. And by neutralizing of these bacterial toxins that enters into our body and viruses, both are extra and intracellular in the system. So you see me have liquid immunity there, the large, right? And I'm going to explain further down why is my slide doing this. Sorry, guys. Let's just continue. So causes, we are looking at the causes of vaginal dysbiosis. Now, we must remember that the vaginal microbiome must stay at a pH of 6, 4.5 to 6. All right. What lives in the bacteria that lives in the vagina is the primary bacteria present in the vagina, lactobacillus. And this bacteria contributes to the regulation of the vaginal pH. All right. And it must stay at a level between 3.8, 4.5. Now you can take pictures, you can take screenshots of this as it's on the screen. And we must keep that because it enables us to mediate infection via the production of lactic acid within the body. All right. So when we look at the vaginal immunity, we must understand that the vaginal innate system, immune system, represents the first line of defense against foreign organisms and pathogenic microbes, all right, pathogens that causes a disruption or a change in the bacteria in the vagina. And through its major components, a natural balance is maintained and the diseases is averted, all right? So one would be, you see on the screen there, causes of vaginal dysbiosis, treatments with antibiotics, failure to comply with hygiene, overcooling. You know, I mean, all of us like to cool out there and you know, breeze off there and dig out inside there, trying to clean there. But folks, let me tell you something, you can do more harm than good to that wonderful spot that, you know, guys love so very much. So we have to understand why we must keep it in check at all times, this bacteriosis of the intestines. What that simply means is bacteria can travel from the intestines to the vagina, and we can cause some disruption there with the lactobacillus. And that is very, very important because a lot of changes happen there, and we start to get burning, you know, we start to have these kinds of painful intercourse and so forth. Violation of hormonal balance happens when, you know, during pregnancy, abortion, the use of hormonal contraception, menstrual irregularities, childbirth, and even menopause. So all of these, you know, causes VD to start happening within the system, inflammation of the pelvic organs, inflammatory pelvic areas, all right? So we have to understand that the body goes through a lot of these changes when our bacteria, which is one of the microbiome, the lactobacillus, goes out of balance. Stress can also bring on vaginal dysbiosis. What is dysbiosis? Dysbiosis is a change in the bacterial flora and fauna within the vagina. All right. Then climate change. We are affected by climate changes as well. Okay. So symptoms of these vaginal dysbiosis, you can see on the screen: itching and burning in the genitals, decreased libido, pain during intercourse, indigestion disorder, vaginal discharge becomes gray or yellowish and has an unpleasant odor, weakening of the immunity. All right, we talk about the IgA, immunoglobulin index. All right, the immunoglobulin index. Sorry, let me just go back to that slide there. Right. Okay. Whereas less production of the IgA, which can bring on a lot of disease within the body, increased vaginal discharge, chronic fatigue. How many of our women are going through chronic fatigue presently right now? You know, so all these are some of the symptoms one experience with vaginal dysbiosis. All right, unbalanced vaginal microbiota can also affect fertility in our women, and unbalanced lactobacilli, depleted microbiota. What is the microbiota? The microbiota is a specific microorganism in a specific environment. So if that lactobacillus goes out of balance, we're going to have issues happening in the vagina. All right, the changes there. Studies have shown that women who experience these sort of suffering from the vaginal dysbiosis, it's simply recurrent implant failure. Some women who seem to be suffering from that, you know, RIF, you know, cannot conceive, you know, conception is hard because of some of these issues that may be ongoing within the body. Also, the gut bacteria becomes imbalanced. We talk about that, you know, the transmission of bacteria from the intestine and from the colon. All right. So we have, when these bacteria are linked to various genital infections, all right, when we produce too much of BVs, production of too much of these bacteria naturally found in the vagina, the microbial flora goes out of balance. So vaginitis starts to take place, which is an inflammation in the vagina, which can result in discharge, as you see on the screen, itching, and so forth. All right. So also, all these imbalances within this ecosystem, in your ecosystem, can promote to the risk of miscarriages. All right. So we have to take deep note. And I mean, I'm going fast because tonight, because of time, I don't want to go over 10 o'clock tonight. So what we are looking at basically is, you know, the vaginal microflora. So you ladies can take screenshots, you gentlemen who are, are logging in for your young girl children, your wives, your girlfriends, and so forth. So here is the smear on the degree of cleanliness of that beautiful place that we all love, the vagina, okay? The first degree of purity of the vagina, it must be at a pH less than 6, okay? Lactobacillus is 95% in growth there. So that's where you need it to be. The second degree of purity of the vagina is pH 6 to 7. Now you see it's going higher. What is going to happen here? The lactobacillus is 60% now, and streptococci and staphylococci is at its highest there. Now you really don't want to get those strep and staph there, because once that starts to interchange in there, we're going to have problems like you see on the last slide. You're going to have burning, you're going to have itching, you're going to have all kinds of little issues happening there, all these little bacteria and microbes that is being born and festering inside there that can cause a lot of changes within the vagina and by extension, the uterus, because your uterus is also an immune system, all right? Because the uterine mucosal immune system is very unique compared to other mucosal, which is the mucus lining, the soft tissue surfaces in the uterus, all right? And it has to adapt to menstruation in response to hormonal stimuli. So we are looking at the endocrine system as well there. The third degree of purity of the vagina, if that pH goes to 7, well, guess what? Single lactobacillus, a large number of white blood cells. You really don't want that starting happening there in the vagina, okay? The fourth degree of purity of the vagina, if that goes to a pH 7, no lactobacillus in a large number of pathogenic flora, which means it has changed entirely. So there you're going to have all these kind of situations happening there. You're going to have all the issues that we see in the last slide taking place there, all right? Because guess what? The balance of your bacteria has gone way out of balance, and you set yourself up. Those little circles that you're seeing there are actually the bacterial, the microbes, the microbiota, the microbes and the bacteria in those slides there that is seen on the screen there. All right. So you setting yourself more for all of these bacteria to get into the system. Okay. So we are looking at how to prevent and how to keep the vaginal immunity in check. So we are looking at creating a barrier to prevent the pathogens from entering the body, identifying these pathogens if breached, and eliminating them by process, and generating a healthy immunological memory. All right. Many of our women are suffering today and doesn't even know why. Sorry. And many of us are not understanding why we are going through at this point in our lives. So what we are looking at, I am simply promoting our 4 frontiers, our 4 guards that we have in the Sankey system. The main one that I admonish and I let my women know to use is the Belage when it comes to vaginal immunity. All right, here we have on the screen the foreign toxins attempting to penetrate the cell wall. Belage is a powerful antioxidant that detoxifies at the cellular level. What more do we want when, our soft mucosal tissue linings get so degenerated, or bacteria starts to develop there, or there's a dysbiosis, which is a change in the bacterial flora, microflora of the vagina. All right, so we need to keep that in check at all times. A lot of things happen to us, women, and the studies have shown that even if when vaginal dysbiosis starts to take place, we have a higher risk of the HP virus, the human papillovirus, okay, and cervical cancer. So it is very important that we understand that, important issue there when it comes to the vagina, all right, because cancer, cervical cancer, is very prevalent in this time and stage, because there is a lot of things are happening and changes, and the stress that is bringing on in our system are changing our biological terrain. So all these bacteria, even from the foods that we eat, even from having, dipping in, dipping out partners. I always talk about this in our Thursday sessions. We talk about this, keep your same partner. When you change partners, the bacteria that enters into there changes your flora and microfauna in that system, in that area. And we get a lot of issues starting to happen because these foreign particles, now these foreign pathogens are coming in and exchanging, and it is causing a lot of disruption at this point in our lives. So we must be very, very careful. And proposedly, these, BDs are influencing the association that supports dysplasia, all right, which is abnormal development of the tissues, along the cervic wall and lining. And remember, these are soft tissues. So we have to keep our tissues in check. We have to feed it what it needs, because if we don't, we're going to just change our biological terrain, as I said, and these soft tissues are going to become something that we really don't want start happening in our system. That's why I always admonish our women or our girls who are sexually active, please do your pap smears every year. And, for those who are going through menopause, you're going to have some of these changes happening. It may not necessarily be an STD as such, but we have the changes of the microbiome changing, which is the good bacteria, the lactobacillus changing in on us. Remember, strep and staph, we don't want to start that overgrowth in there. Okay, so when the vaginal microbiota goes out of balance or there is an overgrowth, we will be having issues. And what I love about the Belage is that it can actually help in terms of repairing and bringing back good flora and fauna for those of you for simplicity, the microbiome, the bacteria, the lactobacillus in us, to bring it back. And as I get coming down to the end of my presentation, I will tell you how we can do some of these things in our system. So the vitamins are very important. We need to get our vitamins A, D, E, K, B1s, all the Bs, B1, B2, B3, the B5, 6, 7, 9, 12, the whole assortment of the B complexes we need to get. And most importantly, our minerals in our system, especially calcium, magnesium, zinc, potassium, phosphorus, iodine, and all of these, because it helps with the endocrine system, the thyroid and the parathyroid gland, which regulates hormones in our body. So if we have hormonal imbalances and so forth, all of these is going to cause a disruption within our system. All right. We need to start on getting our phytonutrients and phytochemical foods within our system. And most importantly, reduce the risk of cancer, heart disease, stroke, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's disease. Folks, these are real disease that is happening every day in our lives. And if we don't take note, it's going to happen more and more, because I have to use this, the human race is really dying, and it's dying very fast because we are not restoring and we are not repairing. Since the day we were born, our bodies has been modified by the GMOs that we are putting into our system, by genetically modified foods we are putting in our system. If it's not grown in your backyard and it's full of chemicals, guess what? You're not having nutrition. You're not getting nutrition within your system. So what the phytochemicals does, it stimulates the immune system, slow the growth rate of cancer cells, and prevent DNA damage that can lead to cancer and other diseases, cardiovascular disease, diabetes. This is diabetic month. You have been hearing our angel talking about Nurse Donnelly about diabetes, high blood pressure, and how we need to regulate and get that under control. Folks, I hope that you are taking copious notes tonight, because it is very important to keep you alive. All right. So I always share, use the rainbow colored foods, purple foods, red foods, orange, you know, the orange foods, it supports good health and immunity, skin, antibacterial, the red foods, heart, liver disease, anti-cancerous. All right, the purple foods help with arteries health, heart, brain, cognitive health. You know, those of us who are forgetful, Alzheimer's kicking in and all of that. The green food supports healthy arteries, liver, lung function. We need to keep our lungs healthy. It's one of the immunoglobulin A that also helps in lung function. All right. If we don't keep the lung function, the immunoglobulin, IgA, which is one of the tests that they will have you do when you actually almost on your dying bed, then they will ask you to do these tests. And then you see how important these IGLs is all about in your system. So 3 areas it plays an important role. 1, the mucosal lining surfaces such as the gastrointestinal tract, your GI tract. All right. 2, respiratory tract. And 3, the vaginal tract. All right. So we must keep that always in check and keep that immunity up and running. All right. The reason for that is those areas are dealing with the mucosa. Mucus means, you know, slippery, slimy, you know, those are the mucus because that comes in through the nose, airway, then it goes down to the throat, all right, and to the lungs. And that is where everything starts to happen. So we must keep that immunity up. One of it, the vaginal tract, all right, because we are talking about the vaginal immunity. Okay, so we gotta keep our white and browns, anti-cancerous, anti-inflammatory, and we spoke about the phytochemicals and phytonutrients. So why it is important that we keep vaginal immunity. Now, there are some things that, you know, our women need to really take note on. Many of us like to clean our vagina, douche, and put creams and so forth, and, you know, wash. But yes, hygiene is important, but we have to also look at what we are douching and washing with. Natural wash, okay? For women who suffers from different areas that, you know, they have high yeast infection, candidiasis, and all of these things that are the burning. Even after intercourse, you get burning. Even during intercourse, there is pain and burning as well. There is a disruption in the lactobacillus, the bacterial flora there. So what I tell a person is to keep the vagina happy and healthy. You know, do not douche, wash with gentle soap. You know, many of us like to wash with chemical soaps and sweet soaps and thinking, oh, we're going to clean that out. Remember, we talk about the pH that vagina needs to keep. All right. So you keep the labia and around the vagina clean. All right. You do your washing. I mean, sometimes we have to talk about hygienic health because many of our young women doesn't even know how to wash the vagina. And we've been having that discussion even here. I've been talking to young women and young girls, and they don't even know that the elder folks are not even teaching them how to clean themselves. All right. No scented soaps or high chemical body wash. This can upset your natural pH there. All right. Use exterior deodorizing products, natural body oils. Please change your underwear. All right. Use more cotton and white undergarments. I always tell persons wear more white and cotton garments, no dyes, no colors, because it can be absorbed when you sweat into your skin and cause a change of bacterial change. Some of them people just experience rashes and all of that. All right. So when you sweat, and it can cause that upset in the bacterial levels, which can lead to infections in the body around those areas. You can soak in vinegar, hot baths, you know, sit and soak in hot baths there. You know, pour a cup or 2 of apple cider vinegar into a warm bath and soak for 20 minutes. All right. Vinegar naturally reduces bacteria within the system, especially in the vaginal canal. All right. So maintain a healthy diet. We talked about diet a while ago, what you must eat and, you know, to keep certain healthy foods in our body, foods rich in vitamin A, like carrots, sweet potato, broccoli, spinach, etc. Keep that. It also helps strengthen the muscles and giving you strong and healthy vaginal walls. All right. You know, our guys like you to do that clinching thing, right? I know you guys, you know, you men out there and our women, all right, they must feel that strength and pull of the vaginal wall. Okay. And you know, we always talk about it when we're doing exercises in terms of the Kegel muscle, because when that muscle goes weakened in you women, you tend to have, you know, what they say, the uterus drop and all of that. But it's really the muscle that these organs hang on. And when that gets weakened or warped, you know, it stretches out. So we need to strengthen that. And the best exercise to do is like, you know, when you're trying to hold up a pee-pee and you want to go so badly to the bathroom, but you're trying to hold that up, that muscle that you pull up there, you can do that like during the course of the day while you're working or doing it. Those who suffer from, you know, bladder issues and so forth, you know, and always want to go to the washroom often, you can like try to hold up that muscle and count to 10 seconds. And actually doing that during, you know, sessions, it helps strengthen that Kegel muscle. And there are exercises that you can look to and check online as well. Let me see how my time is going. Okay, I think I have some time still. So here we are, you know, understanding and vitamin C rich foods like citrus fruits and berries, which boost the system and keep the vaginal infections at bay. So here we are looking at what is really needed for vaginal immunity. And folks, we hear a lot of us in our I got questions in our health group as well. Now, I always tell my persons, and I have seen it happen, they have used it, it has worked. When you have these sorts of issues, burning, you know, painful intercourse, different things, and even your partner as well, I recommend, if you want to talk to me, you know, on a private note, that's fine. But I am going to say it to you women because you want to hear this out there. You get a 1% off the counter insert creams. They do sell the inserts with the cream, a 1%, and you can go and get that off the counter for the locals here in the Caribbean. They just ask for that 1% vaginal cream. And what you can do when you have these sort of issues happening, guess what? I tell them you can insert a little of the cream, pour the blage into the insert as well, then squeeze another set of the cream into the insert, and then you have your husband or yourself or your partner insert that into the vagina. And believe me, I'm going to tell you, within 3 days, you're going to see a vast improvement. I've also told my young guys and my young men as well, they can do that, rub it into a 1% cream, because, you know, sometimes we have intercourse, and I mean, this is, you know, we're talking here to an audience that a lot of people are very shy to say or to talk about. And you just rub it on the penis and on the head of the penis, and it helps, because some of, you know, our guys, you know, get bruises and so forth. And in persons who have had like surgical surgeries and so forth from lead procedures, LED procedures, women, you will know what I'm talking about. Sometimes scar tissues develop on the cervix, all right? And they can have a little problem for those who are very sensitive as well. So you can try that, and I can tell you, you are going to call me or see the results that is going to happen. So let us continue. Our product lines, 50 years of scientific research. We have our research manuals, our pharmaceutical specialties. We are in the JAMA. We are also in the PDRs, Physicians Desk Reference, and the Journal of the American Medical Association as well. And we are also a Blue Ocean Strategy, which we were new. Yes, we are 50 plus years in scientific research, folks. This is not just any company that comes out with some herbal product or something that we're trying to, you know, sell there on the market. It has been proven, it has been tried. I can tell you, in my practice, it has been proven and tried. And I am seeing great results happening here. So we are not a company about opinions, but we are a company about facts. Okay, we are a company about facts and we are seeing it happening. So those of you who have questions, who are thinking about it, who are just trying to test the waters, believe me, after 2 years into this business, when I heard this business, I didn't even get my products, and I just started sharing this information because it was right up my alley. As you heard, Dr. Rutan spoke about my, credentials earlier on. So here we have advanced scientists like nutrigenomics. What is nutrigenomics? Nutrigenomics is the study and the analyzation of the persons, the centenarians who have lived 100 and plus years. What we study is we analyze the foods that we eat, the rest, the environment, their lifestyle, and even their genes, their genetics predisposition. And in so doing, we come to understanding that the body needs these nutrients and minerals to keep that little life force within each cell called the mitochondria and the immunity and the microbiome healthy, because a healthy ecosystem creates a space where viruses can be present without triggering an immune system. So folks, you have to understand that our bodies are comprised of microorganisms, bacteria, yeast, fungi, viruses, and even our own cells. And if we don't keep it in check, it can overload and overgrow and can cause a disruption or disease within the body, which I call disease, because if there is, one disease, there has to be one reverse, recover, and restore, right? So we must understand that the bacteria helps to maintain, which we know is the microbiome, which consists of all these bacteria, help maintain balance. So it keeps the immune system from going on overdrive. And that's where the problem lies, when there's an overgrowth. So what we humans have evolved to live symbiotically with the life within and around us. Okay, folks, we are living symbiont with these bacteria in our system. All right, so we can optimize our wellness by doing, putting in nutrition in our body. These are pharmaceutical. These are nutrition that we are putting in our bodies. And Dr. Adias, I have this little script on show here, and I want to let you guys know that these formulation contains nutrients that is proven to penetrate the cell wall. This is not my words, book. This is Dr. Adias, the scientist words, and a Dr. Jeffrey Boyle, who has been working and alongside and understanding, and using the supplements. And this is what he said, all right? It is there to feed the mitochondria with essential nutrients. We are not getting essential nutrients in our body every day. The food that we eat is not even healthy. It doesn't even have nutrients in it at all. We feel full, but it's all oily, greasy, high starchy, dairy, full of, come on, folks. We heard the other day that even the probiotics are being made out of dairy. So what that is telling you, all right? So it has helped to detoxify the cell, naturally increase essential enzymic production. When the body goes out of production, metabolizing, we have a lot of things happening, so the body cannot heal itself and high inflammation starts to arise. So here we have a supplement that is going to help the system do what it needs to do and to keep the body in check at all times, going at that cellular level, all right, where the body can recognize it. So it breaks the blood barrier, enters into the epithelial lining, into the tissues of the body, and actually zoning onto the disease area. All right, so it's not affecting your good cells, but it is zoning in onto those degenerated cells to help build back the chromosomes and the telomeres that we are losing every day, that is causing degeneration within our system. So for those of us who do not fully understand DNA sequencing, genetic expression, all these sophisticated bodily functions, it's actually simply that your body has a strong foundational understanding of your body's marvelous healing power and the knowledge on how to harness that power. So what we are saying to you is that the body has an innate healing power and knowledge within itself. So once you feed it what it needs, it's going to deliver to you. You ever hear this saying, what you eat is how you look? All right. Okay, I'm not going to even do any description. You can see them all around you. All right. So these are what our beautiful products and our formulations, our supplements are. We have 4. They have Saki, the large, inner 7, and Canoe. So I'm calling on my microbiome panel now. I turned over to Dr. Rutan to carry us through these, as she always do lovely.
Well, of course, you have the Hasaki up first, so you know I got to bring the king himself up, King Clive Campbell, as he just breaks the Hasaki down like no other, the king himself. King Clive, are you out there?
Yes, I am here live and direct. Okay, we're going to use this slide or we're going to use the other if you...
I can get another one up. Give me one.
Okay, most definitely. Ladies and gentlemen, Asaki, this is the product you have been looking for, longing for, waiting for. The Belage is an amazing product, but many people believe the Asaki is king in terms of how it works in the body with Bovia, a revolutionary formula that contains, here's this now, 596 different metabolites from cacao that balances the intestinal flora and generate new nutrients. Ladies and gentlemen, you see, when the bacteria in your gut gets these 596 different metabolites, the keystone microbes digest it, break it down, and begin to prepare it for the other set of bacteria that does the same and prepare it for the other set of bacteria, because bacteria feed off each other. They live good. Many of them don't live bad like how Jamaicans live bad, killing off each other by the dozens every week. They live good, they live in synergy. And therefore, this product is helping to create harmony inside of the human body. So there is disharmony when the microbiome is not healthy. This may be the healthiest product for these microbes because of these different metabolites. Bacteria need them. Bacteria need to make them, for the sense that they feed and they are nourished by these metabolites, and they make these metabolites for the body in order for the body to heal itself, because we cannot make our own medicine as humans. We cannot make the substances to heal the body that we need as humans. So we depend on the microbes to do it. Why should we feed our microbes? Because if the microbes are not happy and are not healthy, you cannot be happy, you cannot be healthy. So I want to challenge every person on this call. Make sure that in all you're getting for Christmas, make sure you have Asaki on your list. No matter which new bed you're getting, which new fridge you're getting, which new car you're getting, which new house you're getting, which new TV you're getting, make sure you get a new microbiome, because the old one butter from 2021 cannot be good enough to take you through 2022 and beyond. So this is the product that Sankey Global has sent to us to reverse, recover, and restore the bruised, battered, broken, dysbiotic, imbalanced microbiome that we may have right now, so we may lead a proper life. The truth be told, if you're living with diabetes, if you're living with high blood pressure, if you're living with cancer, if you're living with arthritis, if you're living with bacterial vaginosis, if you're living with endometriosis, if you're living with uterine fibroids, if you're living with enlarged prostate, etc., guess what? Your microbiome is damaged. That's the long and short of the whole thing. Do not continue to live with a damaged microbiome when you have an amazing product like King Asaki. You don't have no excuse now. You have all the reason to feed your microbes, make them happy. If you don't make anything else happy on the planet, you have to make sure that your microbes are happy so that they can make the juices that run your life. So they nourish your microbiota. It improves protein absorption by what? Whopping 20%. Get that. It increases the oxidation of fat, get rid of the unwanted parts of you. It sustains proper weight management. No matter how you go to gym, no matter how you go on diet, no matter how you do different things, you need a bacteria in your body called Akkermansia mucinifolia. You need to eat to attract that bacteria that maintains and manages your weight and keep you right for your body type. It provides vital energy for the trillions of what mitochondria. So it allows your body, it feeds your mitochondria. So your mitochondria can be healthy in making the energy that it needs in order to keep the metabolic functions of your cells going and to communicate with adjoining cells. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the product of the century. We have it. You can get it. Make sure you get it into your body before the month finishes. I'll hand back to you, Dr. Ruth Ann.
Thank you so much, King Clive. Dr. Denise, can I have the next slide, please? So listen, Orzod Enzyme 3 is our Belage, but this baby right here is the first one. Your first one, you don't want to say you're like your first child first, but you know how it go, man. When you have your first child, you just cuddle it. This is the baby. So the Belage is belle age, beautiful age. This deals with circulatory issues. As soon as this gets into your body, you start to feel it literally immediately start to work on your cells and down to the mitochondria. It actually regenerates. Regenerates means like give life, regenerate, gives life back to your mitochondria. So as your mitochondria dies, and especially during this time of C19, that's the first thing it attacks, your mitochondria. And the Belage has the efficacy to literally regenerate the mitochondria. So you're going to stay energized, and it also is able to fight off and ward the multiplication of the ProCL3 protein cell that mass produces itself in C19. So this Belage is liquid immunity, guys. It's perfected with purified extracts of rosemary and olive. It is 100% natural, 100% plant-based. It is from the bacteria off of the olive leaf that is curated every 27 days. Are you hearing me? Based on what? The microbiome. What does the microbiome come from? A woman. Like, y'all don't understand. If y'all want to know more about the microbiome, y'all gotta be here on Tuesday night when King Clive really breaks down what the microbiome is and how it works. But this Belage strengthens the immune system. It increases energy production. Why? Because it's energizing the mitochondria. That is the energy of the cells. It reactivates natural antioxidants in the body. It improves hydration at the cellular level. But not only does it improve hydration at the cellular level, but it's able to bypass the eye wall barrier and the brain barrier. Not many things can do that. And it's able to permeate that and able to assist in hydrating the brain. So persons with dementia, Alzheimer's, this product would be the product you're going to give them. Persons that are suffering with even anxiety or depression, once again, has to do with the gut, has to do with the brain. You're going to want to give them Belage. Persons that have the tingling in the feet, tingling in the fingertips, you're going to want to give this to them. Persons that feel that, the blood isn't moving through their body the way it should, or as fast as it should, at the speed it should, Belage is what they're going to need. They need their body to get up to speed. So the Belage starts at. It also decreases fats and sugars, improving blood circulation. Like I said, circulatory. And so, of course, like Dr. Franco Taylor would say, blood circulation. So any women on here that love their men that are suffering would say hypertension and have ED because of the medication that they have been taking. This baby right here is going to aid and assist in bringing back the circulatory issues, making sure that the blood is pumping at the speed it's supposed to. It's also going to help women that are suffering with low libido. This is your baby right here as well. And, just a short testimony before we move on, but I know somebody that, like Dr. Denise said, utilizing the Belage as a douche. And they have had phenomenal success with it and have seen great improvement with what was going on in the feminine area. So this product is simply amazing. We've had testimonies from persons where their fibroids have shrunk by weeks. Starting at 27 weeks, going all the way down to, I think, 21 or 17 weeks. It's incredible. We've had women taking the Belage. Sometimes they find where parasites have escaped them through taking the blood. Why? Circulatory, it's pumping, it's moving, it's pushing through, making sure whatever is not meant to be there comes out. Because why? Our products were not made to heal anything, but to bring the body to homeostasis, to allow the body to do what God created it to do, which is heal itself. Back to you, Dr. Denise, for the next slide. That's your baby. Dr. Denise?
Thank you. Thank you. Balance and connect. In our inner seven, the essential minerals, we spoke about minerals, how important minerals is for our cellular repair, even for digestion, metabolizing. It contains biominerals, mainly magnesium, calcium, potassium, selenium, zinc, and copper. And these tend to be deficient in our modern day lifestyle because most times these minerals are depleted in our system on a daily basis. And we do not know, our bodies are so amazing that it repairs and rejuvenates and heals itself that we take no note. But if we don't, see what's happening with our system at this point, we can say futuristically in the next 10, 15, 20 years, certain conditions can start to happen within our bodies when it goes so depleted. All right, there are 60 plus minerals in this little inner seven, in that box of inner seven. Many of you will ask, well, you don't see the whole listing. Of course, the box can put the whole 60 plus minerals, but the main ones that you're seeing there, magnesium, sodium, potassium, calcium, zinc, is very important for our body and everyday life. The fourth most important abundant mineral is found in our bones. All right, 33% skeletal and cardiovascular. All right, it also helps. Magnesium also helps in your connective tissues. Diseases such as autoimmune diseases, rheumatic arthritis, scleroderma, and lupus, to name a few. Okay, magnesium helps to convert our blood sugar to energy. It is a natural anti-stress agent. It also attracts water to the intestine. Folks, many of us do not drink water on a daily basis. So guess what? When we are on these supplements, it forces us to drink water because it makes you thirsty. And proper digestion takes place in the small intestines, and you need water to flush the system out, to hydrate the cells. And what hydrates the cells are your minerals. You don't eat for your cells, but the minerals is what helps you absorb nutrients within the body. So when these minerals are in the cells and you eat or you take in any supplement, the cells now can absorb it effectively and efficiently and displace it through your lymphatic system. All right. It also helps in terms of digestion, reduces constipation, bladder infection, cystitis, prevalent caused by the bacteria E. coli. Folks, we are having all of these starting to happen within people's system. These bacteria are raising their head, and it is very deadly because the people are suffering from H. pylori. They are suffering from atrophic gastritis. Their system is just in a mess because the pH has gone and their defense mechanisms are being degenerated. So we are 100% natural. Calcium also helps reduce body acidity. When the body becomes acidic, it draws from the calcium, draws from the bones, from your hair, from your teeth, from your nails. Calcium is not only important for teeth and bones, folks, it's also very important in building red blood cells in the bone marrow, oxygenating the blood as well, and also keeping the vitamin K2 intact. All right, because when it depletes, most times when it's leached from the bones, it does not reabsorb back into the bones. So guess what? We need to mineralize at all times. Selenium has the effect on vitamin C. So when you take vitamin C, it regenerates and protects at microcirculation. So these are micro and macro circulation. These minerals go into the body. Potassium regulates heart and muscle. Many of us who sometimes get palpitations of the heart and we think we are having a heart problem or issue, it can just mean that the potassium level is low in your system. And I mean, definitely you will know if you're getting a cardiac arrest, you'll start the cold sweat, you'll start feeling pain, you'll start feeling tightness and so forth. Please call 911 or the ambulance to take you to a hospital. Don't just run for minerals. I mean, we always say if you get a broken arm, you don't go by a herbsman, you go by a practitioner who can mend your arm, all right? So within reason, no ignorance, please. Okay, so it also helps promote smooth transmission of signals caused by stimulus along nerves. It also is great in kidney health. You know, a lot of people might call us and you know, I can explain that later on to you, but it is very, very important in the interstitial tissues when it comes to the kidneys and balancing of the inulin in the body, the intake and output of filtration in the kidneys. Copper regulates blood cholesterol, and zinc, by no least, no last, zinc is very, very important for men's health as well as rest and relaxation. Even women who are going through premenopause, menopause, and even postmenopause, it's very important that they stay on these minerals because it's vital importance, and it helps in prostate health as well, prostatitis syndrome, guys who have enlarged prostate, or even those who have urinary tract infections and all of that. It also helps in regulating and keeping the prostate, you know, in proper health. So folks, there we have it. Back over to you, Dr. Ruthann, for our next slide. I'm not sure if Ms. Donnelly is on right now, the queen of Cornu.
Listen, this here, I call this the little red pouch. And for those that are in the Bahamas, I hope you've seen the commercial on Cable Bahamas, where it speaks about either Officer Cornu or it talks about the little red pouch. And there's two different things, and well, many things that our products do. But two of the things that I like to talk about, one, definitely the hypertension and diabetes, with this Cornu deals with the polyphenols from the green tea, the auxiliary night reset. And why is auxiliary night reset so important? Is because at night is when your fat deposits that you've consumed throughout the day start to literally build. This is when you start to gain your weight. Okay, so what this does is it actually literally aids and removes the excess carbs and sugars that you've consumed through the day. And why is this important? Because these are the exact same carbs and sugars that when you go to sleep, because you've consumed them through the day, are now going to take their time to turn into fat. So this Cornu fire definitely helps to burn fat through a process called thermogenesis. So it literally will burn the fat, and guess what type of fat it targets? It targets the visceral fat. And why is visceral fat so important? Well, guess what? Visceral fat contains cytokines, inflammation, and toxins that all end up wreaking havoc on your body and going into your bloodstream. And so this little Cornu fire, not only does it aid in assisting and balancing hypertension and diabetes, but it also is going to burn the fat. Like I said, it reduces carbohydrates and sugar absorption. It increases thermogenesis to remove fatty tissue. It protects against gastric oxidation. It supports metabolism. So it's going to speed that metabolism up. Once again, 100% natural, 100% plant-based. The Japanese black beans are simply amazing. Google it. You'll be amazed at what just black beans do. It deals with the olives again, and the olive leaf, the rosmarinic acid, and like I said, the polyphenols from the green tea. It is not caffeine, because I always try to get all the information out that people always ask the questions about. So this is what this does. It also supports proper metabolic function. So all of this is in this little red pouch. So if you're a person that's suffering with hypertension, if you're suffering with diabetes, no, we're not here to cure or mitigate any disease, but I will assure you that your numbers will start reversing. This product will reverse, recover, and restore your body to good health. You know, we have seen children that were on, they were type 1 actually, which is insane, because normally with type 1 diabetes, you're done. Like, that's it. You're insulin, you have to take insulin dependent. And we've had a young man be able to come off his controller at night and one of his shots during the day. And he's 15. At a young age, he was in a coma. And so his mother is like absolutely blown away by this product. You know, our director of sales of development, business development, when he started, he was a distributor like us. And so literally, he's been able to come completely off of all his medication, and he has now insulin as needed. Y'all have to understand that we're now in an age, and I know King Clive is going to talk more about this on Tuesday, so please, please, please come back on Tuesday for the microbiome topic. But we're in an age now Where these products, they're not a want anymore. Oh, I want to be healthy, and oh, I want this, and oh, I want that. No, man, this is a need. You know, your children, especially if all our kids are going back to school, I know in the Bahamas, your child needs to be drinking some Belage every day. And even if you have to cut it down to half pack just to make sure they're getting it in them, do it. Whatever it takes. It is needed because it will do that. You know, my grandbaby, her other grandmother loves to give her sweets. So she was always coming out with these like sores on her body. And I called Dr. Franco and I was like, Dr. Franco, what do I do? She's getting these sores. Before I could tell Dr. Franco that, you know, my grandbaby always had candy. You know what he told me? She eats a lot of sweets, doesn't she, Ruth Ann? I said, yes, sir. Not drinking enough water. I said, probably not. I said, so what is it? He said, for a lack of a better word, it's doo-doo trying to come through her skin. I was like, what? So, you know, I started giving her a little bit of the Krenui fire along with the Belage, and it dissipated. It went away. It pushed back through the body and escaped. You know, we've had persons that start on the Krenui fire, and I'm saying all these things because we're not scared here at Sankey Global to say what happens in the body when you take our products. Because a lot of times people only tell you some of what goes on. When people take our Krenui fire, if you're diabetic, sometimes you'll find that your numbers will spike. And why do your numbers spike? Because the caramelized sugar that's in your arteries and in your blood vessels and your blood and your veins are now falling into your blood, into the bloodstream. And so it spikes your sugar for about 2 to 3 days, sometimes 1 or 2. And once that happens and you keep on drinking half your body weight in ounces of water or more, because that's a minimum, guess what? It's smooth sailing from there. Even sometimes with the product with the Belage, for persons that have hypertension, you want the arteries to be clean. But what happens? Their pressure slightly elevates. Why? Because guess what happens? There's some sort of something going on. So guess what the Belage is trying to do? Push through, flush, flush, flush. It's trying to push, push, push. So it builds up slightly pressure, but continue on. All you have to do is continue on. And as you continue, guess what happens? It starts to regulate and starts to go down. So I say to everybody, get back to the person that brought you to this call, because by now you've decided that you either want to try the products, get on the products, or do something. Back to you, Dr. Denise.
Wow, guys, what amazing information tonight. And I hope you guys, I see some new ones in from St. Lucia. Welcome you guys on the call, and those from outside, and those who always support our sessions on the night, and the microbiome panel, Marva out of Canada. You know, I don't like to call names, Dr. Ruth Ann, because everybody gets jealous, and, you know, but at the end of the day, you know who you are, and each and every one of you. So as we are seeing and we wrap up tonight, I just want to thank you all for coming. I hope the information was very, you know, interesting, and you get something to go home with tonight. You know, all these products you can use, as I was explaining, the Belage, the Inner 7 douche and spray, and, you know, do things. And as I said, we have I Got Health questions. I think Dr. Ruth Ann will put the group in the room so you guys can join and, you know, ask your questions there. So who says it's impossible should not interrupt the person who is doing it. We must educate ourselves, reclaim responsibility, personal responsibility in our lives, take charge, make changes, because it's only you folks. You are responsible for your health, no one else. So folks, tonight, I just want to thank you all for being a wonderful audience. And as I hand back over to Dr. Ruth Ann or beautiful Marva, you know, to close us in a word of prayer, I just want to thank you guys. I know I have not been on our Sunday calls for quite some time, but I have been, you know, hearing all the other calls and been very instrumental in working here in St. Lucia. So those of you who are friends, family, loved ones by extension, you just log on to me, let me know. And I mean, as I said, we are family, so we work with each and every one of you. I have been working with some teams from the Barbados who have their people here in St. Lucia. So it's been, you know, a pleasure and wonderful. And I'm always blessed to serve. So thank you guys for hearing me tonight. Sorry for the lateness, but technology, that's its best. Back over to you, Dr. Ruth Ann.
Thank you so much, Dr. Denise out of St. Lucia. I'm so excited. And guys, I dropped the I Got Health Questions link in the chat. So just click on that and you can add yourself to the WhatsApp group. You can ask questions about any issues that are going on and how the formulations can assist. Shireen, yes, you can mix the Quinui Fire with the Inner 7. I do it all the time. And I actually mix all three, the Balage, the Inner 7, and the Quinui together, but you can mix the Inner 7 into whatever you like. That is not a problem at all. So with that being said, because those that are in Sankey Global, we usually have a 9:30 call that we have to go over to. So thank you so much. And Queen Mava, can you pray us out?
Yes, thank you. We forgot to mention that tomorrow night at 8 o'clock.
Oh, Lord, geez. How could I forget? That is awful. I did forget. Please go ahead and remind them.
So tomorrow night at 8 o'clock on the same link, whatmakesmehuman.com, we're going to have Nurse Donnelly coming in with diabetes issues. She's a sleep lady. She'll put you to sleep when this is all done. You can sleep all night and rested. So come out tomorrow night. Do not miss this. And I'm not dodging prayer, but I see the man of God is on the line today. Prophet Noel on the line. So if you, Prophet Noel, want to come in and pray us out, please. If I've got the right prayer first. Oh, we got to unmute.
I'm unmuting you. Terrell Knowles, you can unmute.
Okay. Yes, good evening, good evening, good evening. Father, we give you praise. We give you thanks for tonight. We thank you for every word that was shared tonight. We say, God, have your way. Thank you for every wisdom, knowledge, and key nugget. We thank you for what you're about to do in the lives of your people today and as they make right decisions. In Jesus' name, amen. God bless everyone.
God bless and good night. Thank you so much. That was smooth.
I'm saying, I am telling you. I'm impressed, Pastor. Woo. I feel like we have enough time to collect offer now. Good
yes,
night,
and Camille,
everybody.
yes, you can drink it hot. Yes, definitely. So thank you so much, guys. Have a great night. And tomorrow night, 8 p.m.
Okay,
I hope you all enjoyed. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you enjoyed.
Good
night, everyone.
Good night. Good night.
And good night to those from the UK and about 15 or 16 new people that was online tonight. God bless you all.
Good night. Good night.
Good night.
Bless you, Lord.
Good night.
Very
Thank
good
you so much for coming. I'm glad
Thank
you
you.
enjoyed it, Beverly.
Thank you, Doctor.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Florine. Good night. Good night.